Yo, what's up everybody? It's your boy the Kryptonian Saiyan here, bringing you a review for One Piece Chapter 66. And this cover story on this chapter, man, this was pretty cool because you see Buggy freaking out because him and that woman, they've gotten to, the island where Richie's pirates have, basically been destroyed, right? And he sees Kabaji and I believe it was not Richie, Kabaji and I can't remember the other guy. Somebody help me out in the comment section below, but he sees both of them kind of laid out, right? And I thought that was pretty cool because in the last chapter, Buggy's looking and he's like, oh, that's our ship, and he's getting excited. So I was right, man. So they have all the body parts that Nami had. Buggy's going to get back to his full size eventually, so pretty cool. So jumping into this chapter, looks like I jumped the gun. Don Krieg was not dead yet. Don Krieg is, following everybody's, oh shoot, the captain lost. And that's when Krieg pulls out one more bag out of his, one more trick out of his bag, man. And this is the thing. He pulls out this iron net. And because it's so heavy, Luffy is not going to be able to get out of it. But Luffy manages to get his foot out. And he's just saying, like, if I can get my arm and maybe my feet free, I can make something work out of this. So it shows you that no matter the situation, Luffy is going to continue to keep pressing forward. But this was my thing, though. Where the fuck is Don Krieg getting all these items from? He's like fucking Batman. He has a or Deadpool. Better yet, Deadpool. Because Deadpool has that damn utility belt that pulls just about anything out. And he can teleport using it. Where's Don Krieg keeping all this stuff? Like, I have to know that. Somebody tell me in the comment section below. Did I miss something? Because I don't remember this. It just seems like he's just got a very plot convenient weapon every time something happens, man. If I had to give one knock for Don Krieg's character, I would say that he's coming off a little too much like Batman, where Batman has a plan for everything and has a weapon for everything. Like, he has a weapon for everything that Luffy does. I have a problem with that, man. So I don't want to go into a rant too early in the morning. So let me just kind of go a little further ahead in this chapter. So I thought it was pretty cool that Luffy is able to pull off the gum gum gavel. And the reason I say that is, Luffy is fast heading towards the water, right? And if you look, like, he's very close to the water, like, and he knows it, because if you look at him, like, on that face, he knows that he's got little room for error. And if you look a little further up, Don Krieg's men are getting ready to try and shoot him. And right here, when you look at it, Luffy's got, I believe, either his arms or his legs wrapped around Don Krieg's face. I believe, no, that's his legs. Okay, that's his legs. And I thought that was pretty cool because it leads to this. Sanji stepping in. So at this point, like, Sanji and on the crew, he's on there. Like, there isn't any, if he isn't on the crew, he's part of that. And if you just look, that's a look of admiration right there, because he's putting it all on the line to protect Luffy. I know he's serious, but that's admiration. And what I thought was really interesting about that is Sanji acted to help Luffy without Zeph having to push him. Because if you look later on in the chapter, Zeph has to tell him, like, look, this kid has the devil fruit. You need to go rescue him because he will drown. And just right there, just seeing that was pretty cool, man. Because that shows that Sanji is definitely respecting Luffy in the same way that he would for Zeph, the same way he does Zeph. Because if you look at Sanji's past actions, he moved to protect Zeph and Zeph's honor without even thinking about it. Even when he fed Gin, in a way, that's his way of paying respect to Zeph. So, this is pretty cool. Like, I could definitely see Sanji joining the crew at this point, because he sees Luffy as being, another version of Zeph, a younger Zeph, if you will. And like I said in the last chapter review, it's like one captain passing the mantle on to the other. And in this case, Sanji's acknowledging it. So that was pretty cool. That was very interesting to see. And just right here, This is what I mean. Like, that's why I thought that Oda had basically finished off Don Krieg. Because if you look, he has that same expression. So I was thinking, okay, this is it. He's really done. But it comes at the expense of this. Luffy's finished, but if you look, that little knucklehead's actually grinning. You know, it's just like Luffy knows that he's in a messed up situation because he knows he's headed towards the water. I don't know if it was kind of like with Gon and Hunter x Hunter, where Gon just leapt towards the water and he just knew that Leorio and Kurapika were going to, you know, catch him by the legs and keep him from drowning. But I don't know if Luffy was saying, surely Sanji or somebody will come catch me, because again, his entire crew's gone. They're chasing after Nami, which, hey, my girl got voted, well, not voted, Oda says she's the third smartest character in One Piece. So that's pretty interesting right there. I love that. But this was the other thing about this chapter. Oda's teaching a very important lesson at the end of it. Don Krieg is on the ship and he's continuing to say nobody can stand in front of me. And granted, he probably could continue to fight, especially when you look at the fact that when Ging punches him, Ging catches him off guard. So if his guard was up and his mind was focused, he probably could have continued to fight. However, Ging says something I thought was very interesting. After he punches Don Krieg, he says, "Don Krieg, we lost. Let's take our defeat like men and start again from zero." So just right there, that lesson and that is huge, because while I do talk about, you know, what my old football coach used to say, if you screw up all the way, see it through to the end, there's also a lesson that is taught in the 48 Laws of Power, which is to know your limits, to know when you're defeated. And this is the thing, that book always has a reversal to a law. And this is the thing about it, that's actually a law reversal. And I'm going to give you guys an example, right? When you look at Alexander the Great, which is interesting because now that I'm thinking about it, Don Krieg's battle armor and everything resembles some of the stuff I saw Alexander the Great, where and Alexander did go over into Asia. So I'm wondering if Oda might have pulled some of that inspiration from old Alexander the Great stuff, because Alexander the Great conquered a lot of the Mediterranean and got into Southeast Asia, Southwest Asia, which would be like Iran, Iraq, those areas, and made it as far as India and I believe a little further past India. But once he got there, he conquered a lot, but he had to turn back around. And the reason I'm pointing that out is with Alexander, he never knew when enough was enough. You know, like, even when he was losing a battle, Alexander continued to see it through. So I thought that that was the same thing. Alexander worked his men to the bone. And in this case, on what I'm talking about, you know, that's actually how he ended up dying. He never got to see his empire flourish because he ended up getting sick. Whereas if he would have taken the time to build what he had, stabilize, and understand, if I continue to go deeper into India, deeper into Asia, I'm not going to be able to conquer it. If he would have understood that, he still would have been there. He still would have been alive, and he probably could have grown his empire even bigger than it was, because over time you can build it up even stronger. And in this case, that's the same thing with Don Krieg. The difference is Don Krieg likely does not have an appreciation for the arts like Alexander the Great did. So history lesson over right there, guys. But my chapter question for each and every one of you is going to be, what did you think about Ging's statement, particularly at the end when he tells Sanji, "Thank you for your kindness"? And if you look at the panel, he's saying it with his back to him. He's not even looking at Sanji. He's acknowledging him. And he's actually smiling in a way if you kind of look at it. But the thing is he's continuing to move forward. So I thought that that was a very cool way to, you know, kind of end off this chapter. But just those words, "Thank you for your kindness, Sanji." What did you think about that? But those are just my thoughts. If you liked anything I had to say, as always, comment, rate, subscribe, and share. I'll greatly appreciate it. But that's it, guys. Thanks for watching.